We begin with the Senate passing a $40 billion assistance package for Ukraine a week after the bill was introduced. It was passed with overwhelming support, 86-11. More than half of the money is designated for military assistance that will include Patriot anti-aircraft missiles and long-range artillery. Nearly $5 billion will help address food shortages in Ukraine, and more than $1 billion goes to support refugees. The packages also provide $8 billion in general economic support. For more on this and the day's top political stories, CBS News Congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now from Capitol Hill. Scott, so good to have you here. The aid package passed with rare bipartisan support. Why do Republicans and Democrats find so much common ground when it comes to Ukraine? And why is it so critical for that Ukrainian effort on the ground?
Hey, Bob, in a day of many crises and many developments here on Capitol Hill, that one probably has the biggest price tag and potentially the most impact across the world. As you said, it's $40 billion. As you said, it's split between military aid and humanitarian aid. It also includes $5 billion for food programs. As you know, Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world, the producer of so much of the world's food, and that is disrupted by this war. So for all those reasons, this is one of those issues, if not the singular issue at this moment, that is yielding bipartisan support. It was an overwhelming vote by today's standards, 86-11 in favor of this $40 billion, at a time when Congress is dividing along political lines on money for the FDA amid a baby formula shortage, for money for COVID relief. When it comes to Ukraine, there is still a singularity of purpose between both parties. And I think that's in part because this is a distinctively pivotal moment in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky has said as much. They need to modernize and increase their capabilities to try to turn the tide or increase the turning of the tide and make more progress.
Scott, former Attorney General Bill Barr now likely to testify before the January 6th committee. What are you hearing on that?
A source familiar with Barr's thinking thinks he is considering and taking seriously his consideration of sitting with the January 6th committee. He's, of course, right there in the inner circle of Donald Trump, right where the January 6th Select Committee is trying to go. You'll recall he stepped down from his position ahead of January 6th, but few sources as good as Bill Barr to know what was going on after Election Day in the Trump White House and with the former president. It's also an indication, Bob, of how this committee is still ratcheting up this investigation, trying to bring in big fish with only 3 weeks till their first primetime hearing.
Indeed. The January 6th committee is also seeking information about a tour of the Capitol the day before the attack. Why is that significant, Scott?
So here we are, 3 weeks till the first hearing, and the committee is showing another big card. In a letter and accompanying press release, the committee says it wants to talk to Barry Loudermilk, the Republican from suburban Atlanta. In their letter, they say they have evidence and information that Loudermilk led a tour through part of this Capitol complex January 5th. 2021. Of course, that's one day before the attack, and that's a time in which the Capitol was closed. There have been any number of questions over these 15 months about tours given ahead of January 6th. But what's most striking, Bob, is in their letter and press release, the committee says Republicans on the House Committee on Administration, of which Barry Loudermilk is a member, in response to the allegations about tours, had said they reviewed security video and found no evidence of tours. So the January 6th Select Committee says in so many words, their evidence shows that those denials don't align with the facts. In a statement a short while ago we got from Barry Loudermilk and the top Republican on the House Administration Committee, Rodney Davis of Illinois, they say, quote, a constituent family with young children meeting with their member of Congress in the House office buildings is not a suspicious group or reconnaissance tour, and the family never entered the Capitol building. Let me underscore this, though, Bob. In their letter and press release today, the House January 6th committee never used the phrase reconnaissance tour. Rodney Davis and Barry Loudermilk in their statement tonight did.
Scott, there's also more fallout from the redistricting fight in New York. What are members of the Congressional Black Caucus saying about the new map in that state?
The chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus told me today the new maps in New York are systemic racism, a redesigning of lines that will force members of the Black Caucus to run against each other, potentially in some of these districts, concentrating the voices of the Black Caucus members. Here's what we know, that a lot of this can be sorted out or changed tomorrow when these maps are reviewed potentially revised. But it has led to an infighting among Democrats that is transcendent and unique. You have veteran powerhouses of the Democratic caucus likely running against each other under these maps. And that would include potentially young up-and-coming members of the Black Caucus, and that has gotten the Black Caucus's attention.
Scott MacFarlane, thank you very much.